I'm Yorick, and last year I bought and sold my second business. Business was a lot larger than the first business I bought, and it was a lot more professional. And there were a lot of important lessons that I draw from it, and I wanted to make this video because I'd like to tell you a story, but also to share the lessons that I learned, which are invaluable if you're in business. But first, a short introduction. My name is Yorick Sikkes, and I help entrepreneurs who are fighting for sustainability to break through and grow like bamboo. I do this by connecting them to the right tools, strategies, people, but more importantly, the right habits and the right mindset. If you happen to be one of those people who are fighting for sustainability, contact me on LinkedIn or just click on one of the links on my homepage because I would love to connect and to help you with your mission. Okay, so without further ado, here is the story. Um, Last year in 2021, I was looking for a way to buy an asset, and I was looking for the different vehicles. So that means, like for example, real estate or yeah, something else. And I got into this mindset of asset allocation because I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I learned the definition of an asset and a liability, which is basically that assets bring you money in every month and liabilities get money out of your pocket every month. Asset could be a piece of property that you rent out, and that property will bring you in revenue that will bring you in money every month. That would be an asset. A liability would be something like a car, where you have to buy monthly payments, or that you have to buy gas and insurance every month. So it takes money out of your pocket. Liabilities, assets. Important to know for the story. In the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, the guy who wrote it, Robert Kiyosaki, he is into investing in real estate. So I thought, well, maybe I need to do something in real estate. So I took a course in that, and I came to the conclusion that okay, it's good to invest in real estate, but it's really a hype at the moment, and also it's like an entirely different market. I have more than 10 years in experience on internet marketing. So I was like, isn't there something that I could invest in my own market that will bring me in revenue like that? And that got me thinking. And I figured that a website could bring in money if you have ads on it or affiliates running on it. And that I knew that with SEO you can bring in a monthly traffic, and that will keep going because I've done that before. So I was like, maybe I can buy a website. And as it turned out, you can. There are platforms. Two of them are called Flippa, and the other one is called Empire Flippers that I found the most interesting. But Flippa is one for rookies, and Empire Flippers is for more sophisticated investors. But both were interesting because Empire Flippers had a course on it and everything. So I checked them both out. But there, a whole world opened up for me. So I saw all these websites that you could buy, and I saw the multiples. So that means the price and how much revenue each site made, and it was really an eye opener for me. So I did the math, and I figured I wanted to invest in a content site because a content website, all you have to do to keep it running is just to get some new content out. You don't necessarily have to do that, but it's good to do because otherwise competitors might, they might surpass you, and then your your revenue declines. Now, for a little bit of math, the website I bought was 80k, 80k in euros. At the time, it was $100,000 that it was listed on. But a dollar in last year was a lot less worth than it is right now at this moment. It's November, 12th November 2022 now. Wait, that's not the point. the point is that it would have the price was 80,000, and it would deliver 3,000 in revenue every month and 2,000 in profit. Got me really excited, right? Because 2,000 for me is just covers my basic costs. So all the costs that I have to survive. And I was like, if I could buy that website, I would be financially, well, mostly free. You have to still run a little bit, but it's like 4 to 8 hours. That would be the estimate. A week or even a month, and that you can do it. And yeah, that really got me. That really got me excited. So I took a stab at it and then just contacted the seller. And I was like, I'm Jorg, and this is what I do. I help entrepreneurs who are fighting for sustainability. And your website is. They were also in a subject which is, well, their mission was to fight for sustainability. I'm not going to tell the name of the website. Well, I'll come to that later on the story. But they were really excited, and I was really excited, and I was like, oh, I want to make this happen somehow. And at the time, I was talking to someone that wanted to create a business with me in like 3 years ago, and I contacted him, and it's like, hey, I found something interesting. It's called this is a content website, and this is what it does. This is the revenue it makes. Do you find this interesting? And he was like, yeah, I do. And he said, I also know a different investor who would also like to invest in this. So that's how the ball got rolling, and I started looking like, okay, how are we gonna do this? So the amount that they would invest wouldn't be enough. So I would have to invest a half, so 40K, and they would do 40K together, combined. So we managed to make that happen, and it was a really long process. So creating your LLC, BV it's called here in the Netherlands, and getting the right investors, and getting the money in, doing the deal with the sellers, and figuring it all out. Creating a bank account, it was all a really slow process. It took 4 months. So from the end of August to January in the beginning of this year, that's when the transfer happened. And I was really excited, like, I did it, you know, I'm done now, I'm free now. But if that was the case, I wouldn't have sold it, now wouldn't I? Would I? So, yeah, different things started to happen. Because the investors were like, ooh, if we do this and this and this, and in 5 years, what are the goals? And they wanted to create $1 million business in 5 years from it. So they wanted to up the revenue from 3,000 to 20,000 up to 80,000 a month in 5 years. And in all my enthusiasm, I was like, oh yeah, we can do that. It's cool. Let's do it. But in all that was said and done, and the goals that were set, and I went after them. I went to work, right? And very quickly, I found that I didn't like doing the work. I didn't like checking blogs. I didn't like I don't know. I didn't feel free. I think it was the most important thing that happened. It's like, okay, the entire idea was to get more freedom. But because we set these goals and such, and I started to work more on Tiny Living Life than on my current business, which is bamboo, grow like bamboo. And I thought that that's what I wanted, but as it turns out, it wasn't. Because what I got was 2 businesses, and me being the operator of 2 businesses, which is double the work, double the stress. And because I was having to do 2 things, and I didn't get any money from Tiny Living Life, by the way, because we wanted to reinvest everything, because we wanted that $1 million company. So I didn't see any of the money actually, which was I agreed to because yeah, we wanted to grow the company. But then things started to happen privately as well, where money was more necessary. I needed more. I won't go into that in detail in this video. I might make a video about that later. But for now, all that matters is that I needed more money, and it wasn't going to come from the business. And on top of that, I had investors now. And the thing to know about investors is that they become sort of your, well, they on paper they are advisors, but yeah, you have to please them, right? They are your team now, and it's different than being a solopreneur. A lot different. It's a lot less free because you have to discuss everything. And even though I owned 51% of the business and I could basically make every shot that I wanted, um, it didn't felt like it. So yeah, and my natural reaction was okay to work harder because yeah, I just wanted to make that happen and make sure that the business can run itself and anything. But yeah, it came to a point that I was like working way too hard, and I basically there was a point, and I had a meeting with the investors, and they were confronting me on that the revenue wasn't going fast enough, growing fast enough, yeah, and it came to a point that I was like, I didn't even know, but what happened was like I got really lightheaded in that meeting and just fainted flat on the ground. And that was my turning point. This was like, nope. I should have sticked by what I had in mind at the beginning. So it would have to be a project that gives me more freedom instead of giving me more stress. So something had to change. And there were three options in my mind. It was like I buy them out, they buy me out, or I make sure that someone else runs the business and I step away from the day-to-day operations. And thought about that, and I thought the best decision is probably to sell my business to the other shareholders and let them do their thing. Because, well, like I said, I needed some money because I didn't get any out of Tiny Living Life, and I structured Bamboo because in the way that I didn't have to work a lot because I could focus more on Tiny Living Life. But everything inside of me, like, it was like, okay, this is a good thing to do. You should move away from this. And when I made the decision, it was like, yeah, that's the right thing to do. And when I told my investors, they were like, okay, yeah, we understand. And from that moment on, it was like, it's like a weight has been lifted. And now, last week, the deal is finalized and it has sold. It's been sold to my investors. And I couldn't be happier, actually. Because I am now focused on this YouTube channel. I am now focused on my business called Grow Like Bamboo. And the lessons that I've learned from Tiny Living Life and how to grow your business, and the mentors that I now have around me, like Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, people from Income School, they teach this stuff on how to grow these websites and YouTube channels. And yeah, I feel like everything is flowing again. Okay, that was a long story. Leave a like and subscribe if you liked the story, and if you stick around for a little longer, then I will tell you the lessons that I got from this, so that it is also not only entertaining to just listen to a story, but also that you can draw something from this, because to me this was one of the biggest learning experiences of my life. I felt really scared and out of my comfort zone a lot of times, so it wasn't easy to obtain these lessons. All right, so here they are, for free for you. Lesson 1: find out, know what your values are. Like, what are your top values? If you know this, then you can make decisions a lot easier, because all decisions is value clarification. What do you value more over something else? And in my case, freedom is a really important one, I found. And if something happens that will go against that, you will bet that you will go in like resistance mode. Lesson number 2: buying a business can be really risky, but it can also be very lucrative, because I did the math, and basically, like, the numbers that I have for Tiny Living Life, there is this loan company here. It's called Credits with a Q, and they can lend out to 250,000 max to people, and they have really good forwarded. That means what's the English word? Rules is the word. Rules. Rules around their investment. And basically, if I would loan the max amount, I would create a new buffet, loan the max amount from them, I would be able to buy a content website that generates 10,000 per month in revenue and 7,000 in profit. And well, if I would let that business run by someone else, I did the math, and there would be 2,000 left per month that is just unused. So basically, if I would buy that company, I would be able to let it run by someone else. So I wouldn't be the operator, right? I would not be the operator. So I would be the owner, and I wouldn't have to do a single thing but determine the strategy and such. And I could just get that 2,000 without doing anything. And that's where it gets really passive. Not fully passive, but really passive. So if you're planning to buy a company, think about that as well. Like, could you hire someone in that company and still get a profit from it? Because then it's a passive investment. Otherwise, you're just buying a new company. And if you already have a company, then that might not be a good thing to do. And you might want to operate a business, and it's even better if you have no company yet and just do this right away, because you wouldn't have to fumble with all of the learnings beforehand. Number 3, be really picky about your investors. You have to be sure to click. You have to be sure that it's also fun, because fun is really important in the whole thing, because there are going to be frustrating moments, and you have to be able to trust your shareholders or investors to do the right thing, give the right advice, and of course, pick investors that also could do more than just deliver money. That could deliver the right contacts to you. That could deliver the right knowledge. Number 4 is you can buy anything you want with other people's money, but you have to be smart about it. And you have to, if you don't have any prior experience, find someone with prior experience and get them to mentor you and get them on your team. They don't have to do anything. You just lend their authority, basically. 5, don't have 2 businesses where you are both the operators. Good operators get stressed, good business owners get paid. And if you have 2 businesses and your first business is not running by itself yet, do not buy a second business if it doesn't operate on itself. Do not become a business operator of 2 businesses. You can become a business owner and an operator. So operator of one, owner of the other. That is possible, but don't operate two businesses at the same time. You will lose focus. Hear this out. You will lose focus. You will be able to earn more operating one company than you do two companies. You are able to own one company and operate another, but do not operate more than one company at a time. All right. And with that lesson, I will leave you. Thank you for watching, and if you managed to stick around at the end, well, thank you for your attention and your time. And yeah, I will be sharing more entrepreneurial stories in the future. This is another reminder, if you like this video, leave a like and a subscribe, and maybe comment. And if you have some more questions on my story, there are more lessons, but these I think were the 5 most important ones. Yeah, so I would love to chat. And if you're a warrior of sustainability, I would really love to get to know you and see if we can help each other make the world better, make the world sustainable. All right, I will leave you, and this is Jörg Checker signing off, saying thank you, and remember to break through and grow like bamboo.